Hey, Doug Lane, Fastlane Car Care. Thanks for watching. Today, this car is basically going to the scrap yard, so it's going to be a test panel for me. And I wanted to demonstrate the difference between a one-step polish, a multiple-step polish, as far as paint correction. You see, I've got it taped off into thirds. One is going to be a base, and then I'm also going to do probably the 3-step on this and 1-step on this, and we're going to look at the difference. I'm also going to talk about how, the differences and how they play into pricing. So with the multiple stage paint correction, we have a cutting pad with a cutting polish, and then you'll step down essentially to a softer pad and a less aggressive polish, and then you will finally have a finishing pad and finishing polish. You will get a better result with that, but the thing is, you're also going to have more steps involved, and therefore more prices. The price is going to be higher because of the time, the costs, as far as product costs and everything. One step, you're not going to get perfect correction, as I'm going to demonstrate, and the benefit is you'll get a lot of gloss. You will remove some defects, but the cost is it's much more user friendly, and I think for a daily driver it's really a win-win situation for most people. You're getting a good result at a good price without taking the plunge into a multiple step paint correction. That's great. I really like doing the multiple step paint corrections, not for the price, but because of the result. You can take a car like this, and if you 3-step polished it, it would look much, much better. But the reality is, you're gonna wash that car, that you just spent all this money and time on and correcting the paint. You're gonna wash it, and you're gonna start instilling these swirl marks in it again. And is that really what you want? Because in a couple of years, you're going to be stuck in the same situation. And so, maybe for you a 1-step is better. But I'll show you the differences, and it's something to think about if you're a customer of mine, or if you're looking at getting a detail from somebody else. Ask them, what does it involve? What am I paying for? I want you to be an informed customer. So here we go. I have way too much polish on here. That's what happens when it gets cold or when it's been sitting for a while, but I think I'm gonna do it right here, and I'm gonna work on, we'll just go speed 5.5. Now what I have in this bottle is panel wipe, which is basically a diluted alcohol mixture. A pretty well-known secret in the detailing industry is that a lot of polishes and compounds contain fillers, which will help fill in those defects rather than remove them. So what this mixture is going to do is just going to cut through any of those if they're in there, and remove them. And that way we will get a better picture in the end of what kind of paint correction was actually achieved versus if there were just fillers in it. Because if you had a product with a lot of fillers, it would look really great, but then the environmental, the abuse from sun during the winter, that salt solution they put down on the roads would eat away at those fillers, and quickly you would be left with you'd be back to square one basically. Those defects would become more apparent again, and that's not really correction. You're paying for correction while really they're just putting a band-aid on the problem. So we would change paths and then hit it again with a less aggressive polish and a less aggressive pad. While we're on the subject, this is a microfiber cutting pad. The foam is very hard, and these are, microfiber, and that offers a lot of cut. About the only thing comparable to it, a more aggressive cut would be either a lower pile. These fibers, they're kind of long. When you stand them up, they make ones that are shorter and therefore would provide a better cut. The next step up would be a rotary polisher with a wool pad. I just want to keep things on the same playing field, so we're going to use the same machine, and we're just going to change the pad and polishes. Now, if this were a customer car, I would have masked this edge off just so I don't get any polish in it and everything, but like I said, it's going to the scrapyard, so who cares? Now finally, I'm using a black pad. It's very, very soft. This is going to be the final finish, and I'm also using a finishing polish. So basically, smaller and smaller abrasives are used. The aggressive uses heavier, bigger abrasives to cut more of the defects out. And then as you get less aggressive, the abrasives are less aggressive. There's also a difference between diminishing abrasives and non-diminishing abrasives, but this isn't really meant to be a scientific video on individual polishes. Pad tried to get away from me. Now, this pad was orange once upon a time. It somehow got stained. I wanted to keep it fair and use an orange pad for the 3-step and then an orange pad for this 1-step polish 2. Don't get wrapped up on it, really. I mean, if I were to go with a slightly harder or firmer pad, it wouldn't make much of a difference. Probably not any, as far as the naked eye could see. But like I said, I just wanted to keep it even. So here's what we're gonna do with one-step polish. I'm gonna go heavy pressure for about 30 seconds, and then I'm gonna lighten up the pressure a little bit and make a couple passes that way. So the theory is it has diminishing abrasives in it, so you want to apply a lot of pressure to get your cut the defects out in that first pass for 30 seconds ish, and then lighten up, and as they have diminished, they're going to apply the finishing polish. So we'll see what we get. See, I was just cutting away that polish line. Now, if we focus on the sun, we should be able to see. Here's what I didn't polish, and all the spider webbing effect, the swirls, if you want to call them that. These are basically just wash marks from improper washing. And as we come over here, there's virtually none. After that 3-step polish, we get a lot of gloss. It's a lot better than that. But then if we come over here, see, we've got this tape line where nothing was done. You come over here and yeah, you still got some swirls. You've got some wash marks, but not nearly as bad as what was over here. Now, I don't know what the time is on that, as far as how much time I spent on each step, but imagine having to do this with every part of the vehicle. You know, you've got your fenders and, you know, all the other panels. You have to go around the vehicle 3 extra times, when I can achieve those results in seconds. So one less trip around the vehicle, or well, one trip around the vehicle to get results not far off from 3 steps around the vehicle. So again, 3 steps I took, still not 100% perfect. I'd say that's pretty good for a daily driver, especially, you know, versus 1 trip around the vehicle. It still looks great. A lot of gloss, cut a lot of the defects out, and, you know, less time, less money, less products, less hassle. So I'm pretty happy with that. I hope it shows up on camera, but I mean, that tape line just sticks out like a sore thumb. Yeah, obviously up in here is pretty well untouched. That's my fault. I didn't get the machine right up on that edge because, like I said, I just wanted to use this as a test, show you what you can achieve 1 step versus 3 versus none. So stay tuned for more videos. I'm thinking about doing some product face-offs, like, you know, such and such brand wax versus, you know, brand X wax or whatever. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see something like that. I always enjoy doing stuff like that, putting products against each other, and it's not necessarily limited to waxes or cleaners or whatever. I mean, pretty much anything if I can get a hold of it. I'm willing to try it if that's what you guys want to see. Thanks for watching, and please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Talk to you later.